Alright, we are back with a special D&D movie time. Because today is the second Friday the 13th in a row. And since we had two Friday the 13th in a row, we're going to be watching double the amount of Friday the 13th. So, we were just going to do it the one day, but then I said, you know what, it kind of fits the theme. So, we'll fit the theme with two Friday the 13th here, too. So, the next Friday the 13th will not be until November, which will be after October. So by then, Cora will have already seen Freddy vs. Jason. But we at least need to get Jason up to current standards a little bit more. So, what do you remember from the last movie?
Jason is actually alive.
Okay, well,
And
he was
the last survivor that there was in the first movie.
Okay. What did he look like?
Ugly was formed.
He had a bag on his head?
Disfigurated.
That he wore a bag on his head? That's the point I'm trying to get at. He wore a bag on his head. He didn't have his iconic look yet. So anyways, alright, we're going to return to
Crap?
Yeah, Krampus. Krampus is going to get a cramp from Jason. But we are going to return to Camp Crystal Lake and see what Cora thinks of the next Friday the 13th, which is in 3D.
Oh, wait. I need your 3D glasses.
I have them. Alright, we'll see you guys after the movies.
Bye.
Weekends are a good time to escape to the woods. Unless the weekend begins with Friday the 13th. Because 13 is an unlucky number. But out here, so are 1 through 12. Because these are Jason's woods. And nobody leaves them alive. Friday the 13th, Part 3, in 3D. Jason, you can't fight him. You can't stop him. And now, you can't even keep him on the screen. Friday the 13th, Part 3, in 3D. Now, when it comes to killing in Jason's woods, Jason will come to you. Friday the 13th, Part 3, in 3D. A new dimension in terror. It will scare you. Count on it.
Alright, so we just finished watching Friday the 13th in 3D. What was this one about, Cora? I mean, pretty clear and obvious what they're all about, but
Basically, just the first one all over again. In fact, the ending is very similar. The main character, who is a female girl, is in a boat or a
So it was the
What's her
mother
name?
again?
no, what's
It was
not the
Mrs.
mother?
Voorhees?
No, she's dead.
Oh.
It's Jason this time, but it's very, very similar. Does not mean exact.
Well, is there anything that stands out about this one?
Jason.
What it was different about Jason?
He had a hockey mask.
And a machete.
Yeah.
But alright, we're just going to keep this one real short. And we're going to go ahead and move on to the scores for this one. Cora, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give Friday the 13th Part 3? In 3D.
6 out of 10. And it felt like just a copy. It's still a good movie, but it seems like...
Well, I can tell you pretty much for this franchise, and for the most part, it's rinse, wash, repeat.
And by can someone tell me how...
They just keep making the same movie pretty much over. And then if they change it, God forbid they change it, people hate it. Because they didn't... And then when they don't change it, it's like, oh, this is too boring. So these people, they just couldn't win. Although, that's exactly what they want to see come back.
My question is, how did Jason end up in space? There's a movie called that, and I find that pretty interesting.
It's not called Jason in Space. It's just called Jason X. And you're only on the 3rd one, and Jason X is the 10th one.
I know.
And you'll
I'm
find
still
out
curious.
in time.
I'm still curious.
But alright,
How
moving
did-
on to my score. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give this one a 7. This is the one where Jason finally gets his iconic hockey mask, which people were waiting and waiting and waiting for. So that's a plus. The 3D thing, I mean, it kind of worked, but the red side was way too dark. I feel like they needed a lighter tint on the red. But other than that, I mean, it was kind of cool
Yeah,
to...
I thought there's too much blue.
It was kind of cool. Did it actually look 3D to you?
Nah.
It didn't?
I mean, it's just kind of messed with the colors.
Are you sure you were wearing them right? Because it looked 3D to me. Especially on our huge OTV. Well, it's not going to be 3D on the menu. Psycho. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and jump straight into Friday the 13th, the final chapter. We will see you after the movie.
Bye.
Three times before, you have felt the terror, known the madness, lived the horror. But this is the one you've been screaming for. Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Jason is back. He moves like a shadow, dark and silent.
Now you change your mind?
He never utters a word. He doesn't even seem to breathe.
Where the hell's the corkscrew?
He simply, mindlessly, mercilessly. Kills. But now, Jason's reign of terror is over. Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Friday, April 13th.
Alright, so we just finished Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Cora, what was this movie about? Why was it called the final chapter?
As usual, we open up with a little recap, and then after a recap, this family moves in. And a bunch of teenagers move in next door also. I think that happens a little bit later. Hannah, what happened next?
Anything else?
I forgot. Jason is at the hospital. He breaks out the hospital. Then he goes back to the forest camp thing where the two houses are. And then basically he starts killing again. Which, from this point, is basically just the same thing as the first movie. There was a spot near the end where the son or daughter shaved their hair, put on a gray shirt, t-shirt on, and they went up to Jason pretending to be the mother. Again.
Actually, I think he was pretending to be Jason. Tommy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he shaves his head and pretends to be Jason. A little boy version of Jason. Yeah, we will revisit with him in the next one. So, alright. Moving on to scores. Cora, Friday 13th, final chapter. What would you give this one?
Five out of 10 is a good movie, but I'm still heavily confused on why it's called the final chapter. There's still a bunch of more movies to go.
Because this is where they were going to obviously end it. This was going to be the end of Jason completely.
But before the entire community got mad about that.
But people just keep wanting more. So.
I do, it was
Alright, moving on to my score. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give this probably a 7. This one is... you could kind of skip 3 and go straight for this one. And they all involve Jason. There are some others that you can absolutely skip altogether. But this one's pretty good. It's up there with the first one, I'd say. So, alright. That is going to end our Friday the 13th reviews. And we'll bring this back. You'll see another one of like this in November.
See you in a bit.
Bye.